All right, guys, how's it going? Now, on this afternoon stream on here, and I'm sure it'll come up on this evening stream on here at 7 p.m. UK time, right here on CopTalk.tv, I was asked, do you think Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah have signed new contracts with the club? Now, I know why I was being asked this question, and it originated from social media, obviously, from X. It was an exclusive, and it wasn't from David Ornstein or Paul Joyce or even one of the fallen LFC clique of journalists that once used to write for a big publication or something in the UK, but they're now freelance, which that basically means unemployed. No, this came from a fan account, and it said as follows: exclusive. We understand that both Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk have put pen to paper on new deals to extend their stay at Liverpool. Now, this came out yesterday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. This might be my time, so probably 2 o'clock UK or something, but yesterday afternoon. And, you know, when they were all jumping on it, other people, you know, like jumping on it because they can then make, you know, headlines that are attractive on videos or podcasts or blog articles or whatever to get. I looked at it and went, oh, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? So, like, but I'm having to touch on it now, the next day, because I'm being asked a few questions about it. So I'm going to give you my opinion, right? Some people like my opinion. Now, I've heard this claim every single month since around October, November, I think. I've even had, you know, or seen Robbie Fowler come up with a variation of it. Do you know what I mean? Like a similar version of it. And I've got to be honest with you, I think it's absolute nonsense. Now, this is an exclusive, but it's an exclusive with a disclaimer. You're saying, well, Dunk, I didn't hear the disclaimer. Well, let's take a look. Within seconds of posting that initial claim, for some reason, they left out another sentence and put it as a follow-up in the comments, which says, Liverpool, who remain tight-lipped on the situation, want to avoid putting the limelight on Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is yet to agree a new deal. So the exclusive suddenly became an exclusive with a disclaimer, because in theory, you could make that claim and then say, well, it hasn't happened yet because Liverpool don't want anyone to know. Do you know what I mean? But if you think about it, we're into February and there's only a few months left of the season. So if you make exclusives now, at some point you go, well, we told you that, didn't we? You know, back in February. You know, I'm just being cynical, okay? Well, maybe I'm not just being cynical. Maybe I'm being spot on here. The reason why I have a problem with it is what you're in effect saying, and the same as when Robbie Fowler suggested that maybe it was all agreed or whatever, is that would mean that those players are lying when they come out and say, no, there's more out than in and all that shite, and you know, lying to friends, family, whatever. What for? Why to protect Trent Alexander-Arnold? What do you mean? If I was running the club and he weren't signing a contract, he'd be the last person in the world I'd want to fucking protect. I'd be protecting my existing players and the players who are going to, you know, want it to stay, all right? But what happens is people want to believe this theory because they want these players to stay. So they get past the point of, like, common sense because they want to believe it. Because they want to believe it, they believe it. Do you know what I mean? All right? Now, you are making a claim in February that these players have put pen to paper on new deals, right? If you made that claim in fucking, you know, September, October, I'd be really impressed, especially if there was no disclaimer. But getting into February is kind of like, right, okay then, but why does it never say anything else? Like, well, what's the next thing? There's never a follow-up saying, and it'll be announced within the next 2 weeks, or it actually will not be ever announced because they don't, you know, they want to wait until Trent leaves or whatever. It's just, it doesn't fulfill me. The claim is what I'm saying. And I do not believe that two senior players, two international footballers, would lie and basically be in on this thing, right? This, you know, to protect Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, we know that Mo Salah's agent, what's he called? Rami Abbas, right? Was in London. Was it last week? You know, I've not been very well, so I'm all over the place with dates and things. It wasn't long. Yeah, it was right at the end of January, right? We know that he was in London, right? People worked it out, the Union Jack on the buildings, looked like the Whitehall area, I think. It wasn't too far from there. The black cabs, the English, the red phone box, was it? People worked out it was London. I went a little bit further and worked out exactly where he was. And he was within walking distance of Liverpool Football Club's offices in London. So if it's all been done, like Robbie Fowler suggested weeks and weeks and weeks ago, what's Rami Abbas doing just going for a brisk, little wander around like Liverpool's offices or whatever, right? Okay. So, because if it was done, why would he be going? I mean, yeah, okay, could be going there to file some more paperwork. Maybe he's just going to fly in and deal with that, right? If he really was in London, as some people wanted to suggest, he was meeting with the Saudis, then it's still ain't done then, is it? Do you know what I mean? So, in my opinion, where I'm going with this, and it's only opinion, it don't mean I'm fucking right. I wouldn't make such bold statements. It didn't surprise me that Rami Abbas is in London, right, at the very end of the transfer window, right? If someone had said to me, when will he pop up near Liverpool's offices, right, or at Anfield or something like that, would it be the beginning of December, late December, beginning of January, late January? I would have gone late January, right? Because everyone knows that the club needs some good news now. We know the good news is coming because nothing happened in January. A bad fucking, a couple of results or something, and trust me, that news will come. I think that if you were Richard Hughes, right, and you knew what you were willing to pay those agents, for their deals in these contracts, when would you have told their representatives? When would you have told the agents? If you were thinking to yourself, right, I know I'm going to give them that. We'll get it tied down. We can make it work. Right, Richard Hughes talking to Michael, we can make it work out. We might, yeah. What would they do? Would they say, it's middle of December? What would you say if you were either of them? I know what I'd say, right? If you were going to fuck around, right, which is what they do, and they can gamble because there is no real interest in these players, right? I'm sure that, they're the big earners, right? And there's not a lot of clubs that will pay the salaries. And I understand, Liverpool obviously do want to keep the wage bill down, but let's not get into all that. What would you say when you know how FSG work, right? If you were part of that setup, so if Michael went, we're going to do it, then we're going to give them that, say, yeah, we'll do it, yeah, but let's wait till end, see if we can pan it out till end of January. That's what I would say. Pan it out as long as fucking possible, right? Why? Because then you've got some good news. It's like politics when when they need to drop some good news. Yeah, we're going to do that reduction, cut a bit of tax here. Yeah. Don't tell them fucking wait till something fucking wait. You know what I mean? And then one of MPs get caught with a banana up his ass and stockings wrapped around his neck and fucking whatever. And it's like, well, you drop that good news then, right? So it's very similar, right? So if breaking news came out tonight that either of these players or both of these players have signed new deals, would I believe that exclusive was true? I wouldn't, no. I think it's common sense. There's no way in a million years these players leave Anfield on free transfers. The place will be burnt to the fucking ground. And that's why it's dragged on so long. So if you're Rami Abbas, I'm trying not to call him Rami Abbas, if you're Rami Abbas, you're in a strong position because you know that if your client leaves Liverpool on a free, one of the world's greatest players, everyone's going to go fucking mental. So you'd be sat there going, that's all right, yeah, well, we're willing to sit and wait, right? But Liverpool, not Liverpool, I don't like saying Liverpool, I would rather say Richard Hughes and Edwards, they know they're in a strong position because they're like, well, who else is going to give you what we're offering you, right? We know, he wants to stay here or whatever. But the Saudis, they'll give him whatever he wants. All right, well, good luck then. See you in Saudi, because they know he don't want to go to Saudi. It's a gamble, because he could change his mind at any fucking time. But that's why you've got a standoff in that situation. Because you've got them two sides, both in confident positions, right? With Virgil, sorry, I'm looking at my screen here. With Virgil, I just think they're lowballing him. to be honest with you. You know, if some club came in and offered him a suitable, you know, a decent club came in and went, we want you, we'll give you what they're fucking offering, that fucking deal would be announced instantly. They'd have him signed up like that. But there's no one trying to push for it. You know what I mean? There's no one trying to do that because of his age and that. You know, he's a great player, but a lot of these clubs now around Europe, Real Madrid, for example, PSG, they're wanting younger players. Do you know what I mean? But I think they're lowballing him. That's what I think that one is. And I think they're lowballing the likes of Luis Diaz, right? We've seen the claims of him turning down at least one offer from Liverpool. Why? What was the reason? The reason cited was he doesn't feel that Liverpool is showing what his contribution, his value to the team is, which therefore means they're not offering him what he thinks he is worth, right? I can't really speak for Luis Diaz, but when it comes to Virgil van Dijk, do you reckon he's someone that would take the piss? He knows his worth, you know? He knows his worth. He won't be trying it on and taking piss. It's ridiculous. You know, we've had another one in Canate. Again, sounds like he's been lowballed. Okay? But we know the club have to do all these and protect themselves. We get all that. But it's a shocking situation to be in. But I think making an exclusive in February after a transfer window's closed with no positive news, when the amount of people that I can read a message to you right now. And by the way, after that claim was posted on X yesterday, then other people jumped on it as well. You know, I don't want to make out later, saying the same thing. So the message multiplies and multiplies and multiplies to the point where people believe it. So the minute the transfer window closed, I was sent a private message. So now the window's closed, Liverpool need a positive story, Dunk. So who's getting announced first? Can I say Salah, VVD or Trent? Well, I don't think Trent's going to be announced anytime soon. And I don't think that's about money. We won't go into that, my thoughts on that. I discuss it almost daily in the review of the Spanish football dailies that I do for you. I don't know if I've covered everything I want to say here, but basically to make an exclusive after the transfer window's just closed, when traditionally FSG drops some good news, when there's only a few months of the season left, when these players are never going to be allowed to leave the club on freeze, I just think it's a bit obvious. Because 6 weeks from now, 8 weeks from now, 12 weeks from now, you can go, well, we told you that in February, but it was never announced, you see. It was never announced because of the Trent situation. Fuck right off, guys. If that came out tonight, I'd still not believe that shite. What a load of fucking shite. It's just obvious. I'm just waiting for something to come out, you know what I mean? But right now, the fan base isn't losing its shit at the moment, is it? It's not. You know, the pressure's not on. But watch, you know, if something happens, you know, if things start to fade away, I see both of those players extending deals. And even if you want to go down the route of nah, come on, Dunk, man, you know what I mean? Don't be salty, don't be bitter. This is just fucking, you know, this could be true, all right? Even if you want to go down that route, that it's true, they've signed deals, all right, which they could have, right? You're telling me that they're not bringing it out because they want to protect Trent Alexander-Arnold? What a load of fucking shite, man. Anyway, that's it. I've talked about it. At least now, when I do my stream tonight, and people come along and say, Dunk, what do you... When I hear it about 200 fucking times, I can say, I've done a video on it earlier. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry. I wouldn't worry about it, guys. First of all, to give you one reason not to worry about any fucking thing to do with players at Liverpool Football Club, right? Every fucking great player I've seen leave over the years has more or less been replaced. Now, I say more or less replaced because I don't think there's anyone greater than John Barnes. Just saying, right? And some people might say the same about Kenny Dalglish or Steven Gerrard. You know, some players retire, finish their careers. Well, all players retire. But what I mean is people don't just... If they stop playing for Liverpool, it doesn't mean they've left to play for someone else. But the point is, if a player leaves for someone else, they can leave in a nice, positive manner. We go, hey, see you later. Thanks for everything you've done. We wish you well. And if they are shysters and conduct themselves in a poor manner, we can say, thanks for everything you did, break a leg. You know what I mean? All right? Never be... Listen, if someone wants to leave, let them fucking leave. The thing is, these two... I'm sorry I keep pointing at my screen. These two, they want to stay. All right? They want to stay. And if Mo Salah And Virgil van Dijk left Liverpool on free transfers. Honest, guys, it would be... You have to understand this from my point of view, right? From discussing these things. It would be something to see, to observe as to how on earth they would dig their way out of that, right? And that's why I think it will never happen. Because I can't see how they could dig their way out of that at all. And how much would it cost to replace them two players? They can get another year out of them at least. Do you know what I mean? Nah. So in answer to your question, do I think they've signed new deals and it's been kept super, super secret to protect little Trent? No, I don't believe that. Might they have agreed terms and it's like, yeah, well, we'll get a meeting set up. Rami Abbas being in London at the end of January, was very, very important, I think. So, look, just set up your own fucking account on X and make your own claims. You know what I'm saying? It's just easy. It's just fucking easy. So, I could put a video on, say, exclusive. They've agreed new deals, but they're not telling anyone yet. I mean, it might come out tonight, and it might come out in 2 months' time, you know, but they're not telling anyone yet. And then you say, well, what happens if they never did sign new deals and they left? I'd find a way of wriggling out of it, because you've got to leave another disclaimer in there somewhere, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? See, well, it was all done and dusted, but they never got round to signing the paperwork because they were like, well, we can't do it. And so, there's always a way out. Trust me. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bit experienced with this. I see what fucking goes on, guys. I want to see exclusives, right? That give an exclusive and stand by it, right? If that follow-up hadn't been put in there, but they don't want to tell anyone, right? I'd have gone, all right then, yeah, okay. But I'd have still looked at it and gone, all right, it's funny you're telling me that on fucking 4th of February it was. You're telling me that on the 4th of February, you didn't tell me on 4th of fucking November. Oh, well, maybe it weren't agreed then, done. All right then. Well, just fuck off. I'm not even talking about it anymore, man. Listen, right? If you appreciate this video, thumbs up my video. If you don't, thumbs it fucking down, right? If you got something good to say it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I really would, right? If you got something shite to say, you won't last around these parts very fucking long, right? That's it. Exclusive. Oh my God. Good news is coming, right? Trust me.